the diner on the corner.
Oh, so frustrating. What the fuck just happened?
Man, this is just...
Alright, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Senator Obama proved we're more sexist than racist, totally tasteless and basically fools. Although drama's improved, the hex is in place, flip gears like a spaceship. Let's face it, it's true.
I spent the whole morning arguing.
Amazingly, proof done gave me the gut rot. I know like a kumquat when asked about history.
Mad, you know, mad, and I shouldn't be. These are. It's like these are things that shouldn't ever have to be argued about. I just don't know. It's everywhere. It's just everywhere. Whether your excuse is your Jesus or your excuse is your, oh, well, my mind is broken. I gotta do things my way. Like, I don't know, man. The level of humility that I have is tremendous. I have a tremendous amount of humility. There's probably nobody else in the world more humble than I am. I can only have so much, right? I am the lead singer, right? So as the lead singer that is putting my fucking words out there, you know, I have to have a level of confidence, and you know, I have to be focused and driven and all that. But I'm very realistic. And I understand that what I do is not mainstream, is not I'm gonna go stop right there. I'm just gonna do that today. Sorry, I just got a little distracted. But I'm just so sick of it all, man. I'm just so sick of you know, I realize my limitations, right? And I understand that nobody has been able to make it doing. There have been people who didn't work out. You know, there are several examples that don't work out, and I understand. I get that. You know the dangers of the poet. They know that the poet is the one that can lead, because there's something about it. There's something about the rhythmic speech that rhymes, and there's something, it does something, it works on some level in our heads that we're not told. And so they've always shut down anytime someone like me tries to do anything. But I realize, like I know that my range isn't going to be huge. Not being a singer, so my variation then comes from the way I present it, the stanzas, how the stanzas are set up, you know, the way that I build the lyrics and shit. It's only like there's only so much, so I can decide to make, you know, instead of it being 2s and 4s, it can be all 4 rhyme or 8 rhyme, or the first 3 rhyme and the 4th rhyme, and then the 3 rhyme and the 4th rhyme with the first 4. Like there's variety that I can do in that regard. And then there's the subject matter that I can adjust. But outside of it, like I have to know my limitations. And I have to try to work around them. And I can't make the excuses that this is just what I do. Okay, let me try something new. Let's try something new. What, you know what? Let me do New Age Outlaws. Let me just do a long fucking spitting, me just being silly and shit. Right? Whatever it may be. But it just doesn't work. You know, it's not, I don't have that. Again, it's the team. You know? You need a team, and maybe that's my downfall. Maybe it's the belief that it is a team effort. Maybe I should just believe in myself and you know, download some real random producing app and start making my own. But I just don't. I know my limitations. I know how fortunate I am to have the person that I do have as the producer. Like, he hears things and sees things on levels that I don't. He's a professional. He's great at what he does. For me to think that I could do a better job would be arrogance. When it comes to the lyrics, I am confident. You know, but when it comes to anything outside of that, I would be arrogant to think I could do it better than the team. You know, to think I could produce better music than Charles would be arrogant. To think that I could manage things better than Angela would be arrogant. Especially when you consider the, you know, you have to have, you know, if I'm going to be this, then I have to focus on this. I can't be focused on all these other things. Then this isn't going to get the most focus. Like, this won't be as good if I'm focused on the other things. And I believe that's me being adult. That's me being realistic. That's me being, you know, what I'm supposed to do. You ain't only got some left field takes, but shit, probably from the heart. It's always from the heart. And as far as arrogance goes, arrogance is when you act like you can do something better than somebody that does it when you don't do it. You know, if I was again, if I sat here and pretended like I could just get off the couch and beat any high school kid in basketball, just, well, you're in high school and I'm a man, so that means I can beat you. That'd be fucking stupid. You know, that's arrogance, and that's foolish arrogance. But to say that I would smash anyone lyrically, well, I'm supposed to say that. You know, maybe, you know, I could smash you depending on the parameters. You know, if it was a rap song about how great I am at rapping and how stupid you are, well, then you'd probably beat me. Eminem would definitely beat me. But when it comes to real world shit, making songs that are cohesive, that are a coherent thought, start to finish, and nobody's besting me. Nobody. I don't believe anybody is better than me, and I shouldn't. Why would I? Why would I be doing what I do if I don't think I'm the best at it? Why would you be doing what you do if you're not the best at it? And that's you know, I'm not saying you got to be the best fucking,
Would you do that?
you know, I don't know. I mean, when I was a valet, I believed myself to be the best valet out there. When I was a waiter, I was the best waiter in the restaurant. When I was the janitor, when I was the garbage man, I was the best garbage man of the bunch. Because it's just how I am. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do the best job I can do. And the best job that I can do is usually going to be much better than most people. The best douchebag ever. Yep, that's me. Yep. I am the best douchebag ever. Ask your mom. So dangerous. I believe I'm absolutely the best. This thing, whatever this thing is, podcaster, in whatever, I believe I'm absolutely the best at this. Now, if we were talking about, you know, providing a set of information, like giving you the details of each individual thing, like Ian Carroll does a great job at that. Like the detailed distraction. Ian Carroll is great at that. This is hilarious when I do the stupidity, yo. I am the best douchebag ever, yo. I mean, if the guy who thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the friars is a douchebag, then you better believe it. I am going to be the best I can be. Now, would I ever be like a troll? No. And in my mind, a real douchebag is a troll. Is somebody who's got nothing else going on in their life. And this is what, like that seems like a douchebag to me. And could I do that better than you? No. Maybe I could. I mean, I guess if I tried. I think you should fly. I think you should try. I think you should go to the top of your thing and try it. Yep, can't explain it. You're right. I love these guys that come through here like this. You just prove the point. Especially when I go, you know, we should kill pedos and overthrow the friars, and you don't have anything to say about that. It's like I walk you into it, and you're just too stupid to see it every time. Yep, I can't even keep myself on camera. I'm not even driving, you dumbass. I have a driver for that. So, but for all you know, a lot of the time when I take myself off the camera, I'm picking my nose and shit. You don't even know. Look at this shit. Look at how, like, disgusting and weird these Israelis are. I mean, it's the only thing I can really explain it as, because I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm underselling it. But these Israelis are just, you know, when you look at our historical narrative and you look at like Hollywood and shit like that, you look at what the friars present us as funny, present us as, like, you know, nowadays, like my kids, they went to this school with this kid, and this kid had, like, I don't know what his issue was, but, like, obviously he had an issue, and he spoke in a baby voice. He was like, you know, 12 years old or whatever. He's the same age as the group, but he literally has like he talks like he's a baby. I can't even do it because my voice doesn't do that anymore. But he literally has a baby voice. And he, you know, I guess he's a little slow. I don't know. But he's just one of the guys, and if anything, he gets special treatment because he has a sense of entitlement because he knows nobody will cross that line with him. But they don't, like, when I was a kid growing up, that kid would have been, he wouldn't have even been in school with us. He would have had to go to a special school, and he would have been eaten alive. The kids would have just eaten him alive. And so it's really cool to see how, like, this new generation is not that way. They protect him. There's nobody in the school that consistently picks on him just for him being him. And that's completely different. And that change is because they lost their control of Hollywood as in total. Like, they had to start letting Goyim into Hollywood. And the Goyim were like, yeah, you don't make movies. Like, we don't like when you make it so the retarded guy is picked on. We don't like it so when you Bats in, I always bring up Bats in the Belfry because it pops in my head. But even like the three bears, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. And Baby Bear is that big giant baby, but he's really, really dumb. And the solution for Papa Bear is to fucking haul off and blast him every time. Just wow, punches him in the face as hard as he can. And like picking on the retarded kid, picking on the gay guy, picking on the weak, the kid with, if you have glasses, you're a nerd, and like that was all what they presented to us. They presented that to us as how we were supposed to be. And so that's how we were. And like, I remember teachers, there was a girl named Jenny Ernst. And Jenny Ernst was by nowadays she'd be considered autistic. But back then, it was like she was just there. And she clearly had a lot of fucking issues. Issues, and she was like even the teachers didn't like her because she was a really abrasive person. And I can remember like her getting picked on and the teachers just watching it. Just watching and not literally doing nothing about it. Almost like they thought it was funny. Look at this shit. Look at these dumbass comments. It's crazy. It's the people that I'm talking about. It's the friars. The friars are awful, awful human beings. They're the ones that think mental illness is a joke. And it's crazy because, like, you can have the inkling of it. You can have the idea of it one way or another. But it's actually really easy to prove it, too. You just have to look. If you start looking into their history, one of the best examples of it is the auto emancipation pamphlet. This thing is considered to be this pamphlet, this document is considered to be the foundation, the beginnings of modern Jewish nationalism and Zionism. Like, really strange, right? And you see it, and like all you got, like, just look. The whole defense strategy that they have is that, you know, you call somebody that doesn't believe in Jewish supremacy that they have a mental disorder, that they have a psychosis. You know, a mental disorder, a psychosis, if you don't believe in what they tell you. And then you look at how they then present things like cartoons and whatnot that then program people into believing the mental issues are the biggest issues. If somebody has mental issues, then that's the ultimate in fuck around. I just did something illegal. Well, my driver did. We'll see. And you just, you know, this situation we're in is just such a manipulation. You know, it's like all the truther stuff, right? All of the Tartaria stuff to me is the most fascinating, in that it's like, you know, like, how do you overlook that? How do you not, like, what you don't even argue it. That's the thing, is there is no arguing it. That's the part that's so crazy, is at the end of the day, the argument just won't be had because there is no argument to be had. I mean, look at my comment section. Nobody ever comes here and tells me how I'm wrong about literally anything I'm talking about, especially when it comes to the friars, the Jewish control, and all that shit. If I'm wrong, then why don't they argue it? They definitely come here and they definitely say dumb shit, but they don't, you know. There's no competition because there can't be. They can't say anything in contrary to what I'm saying. They can't say anything that is going to, you know, best me, or even address what's being said, because what ends up happening is they out themselves. You know, they show you that I'm right. And a lot of times they don't even mean to. Like, if they start talking, then you'll just see it. Are you it would be an anti-Semite, and I am no. Like, again, we'd have to figure out the actual definition for Semite. But am I proud of my anti-Semitism? You better fucking believe it. There's not too many things in this world I'm more proud of than my anti-Semitism. Mainly because I know what words mean, right? I know that Semitism means policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. There's no way around it. I am speaking for you. Are you? You sound stupid. That doesn't work. You can't be speaking for me and sounding stupid. Sorry. But again, if somebody would like to tell me why I shouldn't be proud of my anti-Semitism, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to know what reasoning you have as to why I should believe in policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. You're not from America, dipshit. What does that have to... I don't understand. Does that somehow make you dumber or something? I don't get it. Are you making an excuse for yourself? Not really sure what you're trying to say here. Oh, is that your excuse for not knowing how to... Yes, for being stupid. I get you. Now I get it. For not using the proper words. Gotcha. Like the video says, I just hate the excuses. What you do in that situation goes, oh shit, you're right. I did fuck up. It is an idiot. Or an anti-Semite or whatever. When you have the next word starts with a vowel, then you use an, unless it's an H. And that's only sometimes. Like if you're talking about an historical document, you wouldn't say a historical document. But you also wouldn't say an hippopotamus. You know what I'm saying? And this is, again, look at the stupidity that I have to deal with. I'm literally explaining third grade fucking English to people because they're too stupid. They don't know any better. They want to use big boy words like anti-Semite, but they don't want to know what the other words are. They don't want to be held responsible or accountable when they use the small words incorrectly. Funny how that works. Being now see, this is where you know you're really stupid, because instead of making the adjustment, you just did it again. But being a anti-Semite automatically makes people think you're a Nazi. Well, that's stupid, because I'm not a German and I'm not part of the National Socialist or Zionist Party. So if you're dumb enough to say that, then go right ahead. Like, I would encourage you to say that and then look stupid and hopefully feel stupid so you don't make that mistake again. But clearly, even when you're corrected on the most basic shit, you don't make the adjustment. So that sort of says a lot about you. The whole Nazi thing is such a joke. As a matter of fact, it's so like disturbing and weird. See, I've wondered how they were going to continue to milk the Holocaust, considering all of the supposed survivors are, basically dying off, and they don't really teach the narrative like they used to in schools. So how are they going to maintain their supremacy without having the guilt in place? And so, I think what's going on with Palestine right now is going to be manipulated into that in some way. Ouch. But I think that's, by everybody running around and calling the ICE agents Nazis, that's keeping that idea in the heads of people. But it's so far from the truth. There's literally they're nothing like Nazi Gestapo. That comparison is just a foolish one, and it sends the wrong idea, and it keeps the Nazi narrative alive and strong in people's heads. Oh, look, we have the dumbass who's literally identifying as a Jew, and you can't make any reasonable arguments whatsoever. Like, these are the best ones, right? The person that comes on here and pretends like they're Jewish, and yet they're dumber than everyone else. It just proves the point. Again, their inbred stupidity. Most of you think that Jews control the narrative, control the world because they're somehow smarter or better. They're absolutely not. That couldn't be further from the truth. The only way they have any sort of supremacy is in their ruthlessness, in their manipulation, and their ruthlessness and their manipulating and using history against us and all that, and their willingness to do the worst things. Like, they're willing to kill their own. You know, they're willing to kill their own. That's what that's what Hanukkah is all about. Hanukkah is a celebration of these psychopaths going around and killing their own people because they wouldn't circumcise when they wanted them to. Circumcision had been made illegal, rightfully so. And now, let me preface this by saying that literally none of it's true. None of the Bible, none of that narrative is even remotely true. It's a joke. But according to that narrative, in the minus 200s, Johannes Maccabee decided that, this ban on circumcision was just unacceptable. And so he was going to just start circumcising, going around the countryside, with his Godspeed, and because he knows where all the Jews live, offering Jews the option to circumcise themselves and their family, and then join the revolution that's going around, like horseback, walking around, I'm not sure, to other places, or kill you, or they'll kill you. You gotta love people that consistently call it a bong. That's how you know they're fake Israeli profiles, right? If you're dumb enough to call this a bong, you're a moron. You don't know what you're presenting a fake scenario. If you know what the problem is, can you make a plan to solve the problem? I mean, no. I can formulate the ideas on how we get to that point, on how we make the plan, but the plan absolutely starts with eliminating the friar control scheme, making it illegal, banning it. That's how it starts. That's how we start it. We can fix this problem, no doubt about it. It just requires reality. People need to. I'm just waiting to see what the. Are we? Can I? Anyway. 2 TO, much mold in that bong. 2 TO. In this bong. You know how bongs are.
No,
No martyrs necessary. It's already been enough. However, if it meant that it would actually change things, then I would happily sacrifice myself to make everyone's life better. You better believe it. But that's not how it would work. You know, it just doesn't work that way.
I haven't sent him for a well check visit. He probably will not go for one. We do, we do immunization waivers. So that, so yeah, I don't want to waste your time or diminish anything you're doing. It's just a personal choice.
Well, he's not sick. We're doing the pre-sick. We're preventing the sick from happening.
It's what our ancestors used to do. It was effective.
Renly, what's happening, my man? Charles was suggesting that we change up New Age Outlaws. And I told him, no, Renly likes that song, so we have to leave it as it is.
That's great. Well, and then if you put some honey in it and you do not use a metal spoon to mix it.
Oh, good.
Plastic spoon to mix it. That way you don't kill the therapeutic benefits in the honey.
Oh, I'm super swell. How are you, Renly? I don't, it's funny. It's such a weird question. People say, how are you? You don't really want to know, do you? Because if you want me to say I'm good and then ask, and I'm not saying you, Renly, but most people, they want you to say you're good and then ask them and it progresses the conversation. But if you say, I'm as good as I can be for someone who's alive during a genocide and being, having a genocide broadcast to them on national TV and bragged about it and having, had their money stolen from them so that it can pay for this genocide. And, I'm not good. I'm not good. When it comes to the fact that the church is full of pedophiles and nobody's talking about it. I'm not good. The fact that Trump and the whole Epstein pedophile blah 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 distraction. I'm not good. That shit pisses me off. There's literally a genocide happening right now. I literally, if I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, I think about it. I think about, God damn it, these poor kids. Like I can't imagine if I had to pee and there was bombs going off and like it just clicks. Shouldn't the person asking the question be able to tell the person's body language? No, that's not what's being said. The point is, the how are you question is a hollow one. It's not you're not being honest. You don't honestly want to know how I am. Or you just don't want to hear the answer. You're not prepared for it. And most of the time, what would bother you is that I'm a better person than you. Because if I ask you how you're doing, you're going to say, I'm great, I got a lot going on in my life right now. Things are good. I got this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Whereas me, I go, I'm not good. And it has nothing to do with my own personal life. I got a beautiful wife. I got great kids. My life could actually be a lot worse. But how I am is not about me per se. I don't know how someone can live. Like if I had millions of dollars, there'd be no way I would be silent. How can you just be... How does everybody not decide, not stand up against genocide? How? How do you go, oh, well, that doesn't affect me? That's just children. It's just children from a place that's far away. They're brown anyway. They're brown. I'm told they believe in a different sky daddy. So, I don't care. And that's the reality of it. And so then you have someone like me that's like, I'm not religious at all. Um, I have no actual connection to the area whatsoever, and yet it keeps me up at night. I actually give a shit about those children. And this is dude, literally, look at this. Literally, you can't even ask how he's doing. Literally, you just said literally twice. A walking contradiction who just sits home, smokes all day, and doing nothing about it.
Well, and that's the thing. It is the whole lot.
So funny. Such an entitled, dumb, broad perspective.
Portions of things, balance of things.
She comes here every day. In a lot of countries last year received recognized Palestine, and I myself have seen large protests in my own country. I think a lot of people are standing up. Yeah, but the problem being that they're standing up to the wrong thing. As long as you're still pushing the narrative that Israel is the bad guy, you're being duped. There are a lot of protests, and there's a lot of free Palestine sentiment out there. But free Palestine isn't the thing. How do you say free Palestine to the Syrians? How do you say free Palestine to the Lebanese, to the Iranians, to all the other victims of the Israelis? How do you say free Palestine to the Epstein survivors and all that shit? It's not about this one symptom of the problem. And that's they're always controlling things. They're always controlling narratives. They're always a step ahead. So even when you think it's something good, if you look, the people behind the like the dumbass yesterday that was talking about transgender reassignment surgeries for children, blah blah blah. And they quote, asking for any information. What can I look up to prove what you're saying? Because I don't think you're correct. So I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up blind. It's not something I look into. It's not something I've really done much about. But I'll look into the narrative, willing to be wrong. If I'm, you guys will see it. If I'm wrong, it'll be written all over my face. I'm not the type of person that shies away from being wrong anyway. So if I was wrong, I would just say, oh, wow, I guess I was wrong. But I go to look, and when I look, it just happens to work out that the people behind the organization are all friars. And I'm sorry, but in my experience, if they're involved, it's not good.
Okay, there you go.
Right?
Get the local honey. I have a friend that's doing these, and
I keep smoking doing nothing about it. You talk could be apologizing himself and one you're naughty. And I doubt you'd admit you were wrong about anything. We can ask your wife about that. There's literally a video from a couple of weeks ago where I had messed up thinking that Anne Frank and Helen Keller were the same person for the whole video. And then when I realized it, it was like, oh shit, guess I'm wrong. And I could have deleted the video, but I didn't. Yeah, I don't. But for somebody that never actually addresses anything and is just crying again for like the umpteenth day in a row. Crying and crying about what I'm doing, but never actually, saying anything. It's just interesting how you consistently play this role for me. It's like I need people to be here to do what you're doing. Because when I talk about it with other people, they don't see this kind of bullshit with other people. So if I tell them about it, they're like, yeah, well, you're exaggerating. I don't know if I necessarily believe you. But when you provide such a great example for me, it's invaluable. But this is just how this works. I mean, how do you get to this position if you're not wrong? I was raised in the same environment as the rest of you. I fell for 9/11 just like everybody else did. I don't know, to some degree. Because I wasn't immediately racist like so many white people. We're just waiting for the excuse to be racist, Even my mom was like, we need to, like, she watched the towers fall. Or the second tower, where was the first tower? Second tower fall. And she was like, oh my God, we need to take all those people and put them on an island and bomb it. I was like, wow. And this was, because right away, it's funny to think about it. Because right away, there had to be the Arabic sentiment to it. Because I remember saying to her, well, what if black people are? So we knew that it was already being blamed on Arabs at that point. But that's, I didn't have that that response. But 20 years ago, if you'd have been saying something about the Jews being bad, I'd have said, oh, come on, man, you can't say that. You can't blame them all. You can't blame all of them for what some of them do. I would have said the same thing I'm supposed to say. Same thing you say. But I was wrong. I didn't realize that, Israel did it. Israel does this. Israel did that. And the more I educate myself with their stuff, because I don't read the conspiracy stuff. I literally only read the official accounts, the official narrative on any of it. It's always, I just want the official. I don't want to give people the excuse, right? Because that's all it comes down to is if I don't use the mainstream source. I mean, look at this dumbass, right? This dumbass is just pulling weird shit out of thin air. Imagine if I was using anything other than the official sources. Imagine how desperate, or imagine what that desperation would do. I mean, it's been said so many times, oh, where'd you get that from? That's why I stopped using YouTube. I stopped watching movies. Started watching the news. And I would watch the news every morning. I would watch from like 5:30 when they would replay the previous night's news. They would play like a shortened version of it. And they would replay it. Or no, they would replay it. And then they would do the 6 o'clock morning show on CBS with that Haffy Green. What's her first name? I don't remember her name. Anne-Marie Green, was that it? I don't remember. But she, Anne-Marie? That's right. I don't know. She would do a half-hour news, and they would replay that right after, like, it was really weird. They would play the half-hour news and then they would replay it. And sometimes it would be a little bit different. They would add in stories or take out stories, switch out stories, you know? And then I would watch the CBS morning news because it was the national morning news. Like the other channels had the local shit, but CBS had the national channel. It was the national news. And I would watch that until 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock when the news would stop. And then, just to add to it, I would watch the 700 Club, just to see the that perspective. That 700 Club is one of the widest reaching, largest shows of its kind, and they would often do, like, it was weird just to watch them go from the opening segment being about random news things to basically the opening segment every single episode is about something that has to do with Israel. And strangely enough, I mean, it was just weird to watch it all play out, but if it weren't for the 700 Club, the Tuesday after Kobe died. So that happened on Sunday. So Sunday and Monday and even Tuesday, that's what everybody was talking about, because on Wednesday, one of the Trump impeachments was said to come to an end, to come to a close. So that Wednesday, it was all about Trumpstein. And then, Kobe was thrown in, and obviously Kobe was talked about a lot more, but uh, but what could I talk about? Oh yeah, so the Tuesday in between that, the Monday was the oh my gosh day, and the Tuesday was sort of the calm down day. And then the Wednesday, obviously, the news cycle was dominated by Trump. The Tuesday that happened, Netanyahu, who was under indictment and, all this, Netanyahu came to the United States to facilitate the signing of the legislation that said all colleges and universities had to have a pro-Israel curriculum. And if they didn't, pro-Israel curriculum, and actively remove any anti-Israel or any anti-Israel sentiment or BDS or anything like that. Anything that was opposing that they didn't like would have to be removed, under the threat of losing federal funding. What's actually happening now. And it was interesting because like this happened. Trump signed it in, and then it sort of went away. And I was wondering, what was it? And now, obviously, you see why that happened all those years back. They had been preparing for this already. What? Too bad. Dude, it's too bad. We've already talked to them. They've already, they're already like, okay, Nathan's sick, good, keep him out. Sorry. I'm not going to keep arguing with you about it. I don't know. We'll see. Definitely not during school time. Okay, well, maybe that's it. Maybe we'll do that. He doesn't watch the news. He's afraid the government. Like, you guys see this shit? I'm afraid the government is watching me. When did I ever say that? You believe someone who makes their own music to listen to a voice all day listens to a news channel? Yeah, right. Right, because I just make all this stuff up. It's interesting how I can make stuff up that also happens to have a lot of news articles and stuff about it. Like, it's weird. But mid 2019, because it was 19 is when it hit, but in 2020, mid 2020, by mid 2020, I was so, like, watching the news was basically watching COVID propaganda. And then every once in a while, they'd slide something in, usually an Israel story, but they'd slide something in. But for the most part, it was just COVID, 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 Trump, Trump, COVID, COVID, Trump, COVID. And that's all it would be, all fucking the whole show. And it got to be really boring. And it just felt like nothing but goofy ass propaganda. And I'd been watching. That had been my routine for like 2 years. And it was it was a weird thing to get used to, because when I stopped, I never watched the news because I wanted to know the truth. I watched the news because I wanted to know the narrative, like that dumbass, that dumb broad, the type of shit that she's gonna know. And I wanted to be able to, when talking to people, because you'd be surprised how much they actually let out on the news. They might only talk about it once, but they do talk about it. Team Jorge was talked about, in news articles. So at one point too, I realized that anytime something big is happening here, if you go search Israel and then in the Google machine and click news, you'll find out something really significant happened in Israel that does affect us, that has to do with us, that's legislation, giving them money, whatever it may be. Something significant happens involving them just about every time there's one of those sort of shootings or some sort of an event that happens. And so I realized that. But again, after a while of just, the news was one thing prior to COVID. After COVID, it was just a completely different story. It was so difficult to watch every day, the same bullshit propaganda. And also so much not being talked about in favor of COVID. It was just so terrible. And I felt yucky. Like I felt like I was, that I was, it was just propaganda. I was being propagated to, and I never really got anything out of it. By that point, there wasn't much coming through. It was just propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. So it's so funny to see all these new commercials with like the music from 20 years ago in them. I wonder if Christina Aguilera is getting money for that commercial. So afterwards, I ended up feeling like, once I stopped watching it, I ended up feeling this weird, like I was uninformed. I didn't know what was going on. And I had gone from this everyday propaganda machine to literally like cold turkey, just quit. And it was a hard adjustment. And I tried to figure out how to supplement that. So it dawned on me, well, why don't I just read the news? Because, I can at least skip over all the COVID shit and find stories I want. But then it was like, all right, so what news do I read? And there's just so much to pick from. When it comes to if you just put the news, the daily news, there's so much. But I had already had experience with looking into Israel stuff every time something happened and seeing that there was this connection. I was noticing that you could basically predict the future here by reading the news in Israel. And so I thought, well, fuck it. I'll just start putting Israel into the Google machine, clicking news, clicking sort by date so I get the newest bestest, and reading that. And I did that for like over a year. I'm not sure when that started, but it ended with the October 7th thing. Because that's what it felt like. It felt like I knew that they were going to do it. I literally staked my reputation on it. By the way, if you're watching, don't forget to like, share, and sub. This censorship is ridiculous, so I definitely need your help with this shit. They say it matters. All the other influencers, YouTubers say it matters, so fuck it, please. Take 2 seconds and share the shit on YouTube, or on Facebook. Click share, click Facebook, and put "this guy's crazy, come tell him he's crazy." Whatever you have to do. Just take 2 seconds and help out. But when it came to, I had told you guys that I would quit making videos. I would stop all of it if Israel didn't create the false flag and then commit the genocide by December of 2023. Now, obviously, I'm saying something nobody else is. I'm giving you an absolute, like a timeline, and I'm putting something on it. I'll stop what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm crazy. If I'm wrong about this, I'm crazy. But not because of some psychic premonitions or anything like that, but because I had been paying attention to the news for the last, year plus. They were telling us they were going to do it. One of the biggest things was when Israel bought 42,000 slaves, supervised laborers, slaves, from India, from Delhi. 38,000 earmarked for construction. The other 4,000 were for elderly care. They were not allowed to come get whatever job they wanted. They were literally purchased from the government of Delhi. 42,000 people who were going to come do what? Those were the Palestinian jobs. Israel didn't have a surplus of jobs that they needed to bring all these people in for. So clearly, they're not going to have a disruption to their way of life. But if they plan on killing all the Palestinians without having somebody to replace them, that would be pretty bad for them. They might have to take care of their own elderly people. And so, they planned for it. You could see it all happening. The visa waiver program was like the last piece for me. The visa waiver program where Israel was going to be put into this unique status that the people can come to and from the United States without going through all the visa bullshit that everybody else has to go through. But there were some stipulations that had to be met for your country to be put into that category. That's like Puerto Rico and shit like that, right? You can travel to Puerto Rico without it being an issue. And it's supposed to go both ways. And one of the stipulations is that when our people come to you, you have to treat them well. You can't discriminate against them. You can't be shitty to them. You know, even if they're Palestinian, if they're American, you have to give them the same rights of passage that you expect from us. And Israel just flat out wouldn't do it. And they were supposed to be, supposed to have up until a certain day to do that. And when that day came around, they just didn't do it. This was September 30th, I believe. And instead of being held accountable for basically just spitting in our faces and being like, fuck you, we're not doing that shit. Not going to treat people. You're all beneath us anyway, so why would we agree to treat you better? Like, that's stupid. Instead of that happening, the United States just said, all right, well, we're going to put Israel into the visa waiver program, and we're going to act like they did this, like they fixed this issue, but we're going to extend it out, and we're going to say that they have until, it was either the first day of Passover or I think it was the first day of Passover. Yeah, they had until because Passover is when they spill blood. So they had another, 6 months or whatever it was to rectify the situation, to fix the problem. Even though they were going to act like they had already done it. And so once they got put into the visa waiver program, which meant as many of them that wanted to escape what was about to be a war area were going to be allowed to do so, that was the final piece. And I said, oh, it's coming. It's coming. I didn't know it would be 7 days later. But that's how it worked. Alex Jones was right 10% of the time, if that. If that. Alex Jones is controlled opposition to the fullest. Yeah. Alex Jones is just, I mean, he's a piece of shit. I haven't been an Alex Jones fan ever. I think the Obama Deception movie was a good movie. He put out a couple of decent flicks, as long as they didn't focus on him as much. But I realized Alex was a warmonger, fear-mongerer, controlled opposition a long time ago. It's different for someone that actually tries. For a lot of you who just watch things, you might not see the difference. But for someone that actually puts out content and is in the same arena, for me to be focused on like I'm Alex Jones, while Alex Jones is allowed to just do whatever. I mean, Ian Carroll, Stu Peters, all those guys, it's the same thing. You see it. You go like there's no reason why I, little old nothing me, should be so interfered with and censored, where if I go to their shit, you don't see any of these guys. You don't see any of this shit. If you do see opposition, people are speaking about, they'll talk shit about what he's saying. They'll argue with him. But you don't see this weird obsession like what comes with me. Right? It's better to stand on your feet than live on your knees, huh? It's always funny to me when Christians say that shit. Like, bitch, how much of your time is spent on your knees? Your whole thing is about being submissive and being on your knees But most Christians know the shit's wrong. They didn't choose to be Christian. It was put on them. And there are so many little pieces that are also attached to it that they have a really hard time letting it go, because they're basically, kicking themselves out of their families and making themselves a bad guy. Like, it's so strange to me how discriminatory Christians are. right? Christians will, they put on that front like they're these good people, but if you don't, like, especially family wise, if you don't believe what they believe, even if you don't talk about it, the only time I ever talked about the shit was when it was brought up to me. And I would always wonder, like, you want me to say, no, I'm not going to. Why are you going to say I don't say it? Why bring these things up if you know it's not going to work out the way you want it to? And it's not like it's a respectful dialogue back and forth where I'm allowed to give my opinions, and then, you might say something and I go, okay, yeah, but what about this? And then you answer that thing. That never fucking happens. You've never seen it this bad. And I have 7 viewers and 4 likes, 2,500 subscribers. Imagine the people that have millions and millions of subscribers and views, and they're popular. They live their life paid well from the content they produce. Imagine, right? Imagine. Shouldn't they have way more interference than I do? Why is Ian Carroll allowed to exist? Ian Carroll is way more dangerous than I am, like on paper, right? Ian Carroll comes up with names and dates and receipts, and I do too, but not on that level. He's got a whole team behind him. But he's allowed to expose a whole bunch of secrets. Why do you think that is? Why don't they shut down Ian Carroll? Why don't they shut down? I don't know. I haven't seen Ian Blakely's post in a while. Is she okay? Did she get shut down? No, I just. The weirdest thing is how they're all the same. At the end of the day, they might give you some details that you didn't have about something, but they're basically all talking about the same things. And it's crazy how many of them will talk about it like dancing just right up. Toes are on that line, but they then back off. And then, of course, all of them tell you to believe in Jesus. How are they all that stupid? How is it possible that all of the most mainstream truthers are all Jesus? All of them. There are none of them that encourage you to question that as well as you would everything else. Alex literally has nothing to say. She's dumb. She's dumb. I don't know why Trump is still in office. Absolutely. I mean, you do know why. That's the thing. If it was real, if it was actually what we think it is, the fact that he's involved in anything and all that Epstein shit would mean he'd be stepping down until that stuff blows over, until they figure that stuff out, until all of it's looked into. And I mean, if it was real, then there would be real investigation and all that shit. But it's he's in office because he's a fantastic distraction, right? He's a fantastic distraction. Trump he takes a page from the Bush Jr. narrative where the person presents as such a dumbass, you don't think that they're capable of doing the master planning. And they're not. There's a reason why the Trump robot falls asleep and shit all the time now. Like this is a 80-something-year-old, 79, 80-year-old man. Tell me another situation where you let an 80-year-old man make choices for you. What's wrong with blacks? Jesus was black. Oh, was he? Jesus was by the narrative and from the what you're told and where he's Palestinian. He wasn't black. He would have been. But Jesus is not real. It's not real. And this whole, black people are the true Jews and all that. It's all just more distraction bullshit. As long as they keep pushing the idea that Jews are the real, or blacks are the real Jews, well, that validates the Bible. And that means all those black people that are like, hey, why would I ever believe in the Bible, are like, well, look, blacks are, it's all just fucking dumb. What's been done to black people, who black people are as a culture, is just so awful. It's so embarrassing. It's so, like, the definition of dumbed down. Where do you think all of these fly-by-night rappers come from? Consistently Little Yachty type rappers, Island Boy type rappers and shit. Do you think they're out there getting in a van and going around the country, performing at little spots, little clubs and all that, just building a name for themselves and selling tapes out of the back of their truck? No! They're just picked. Somebody goes through and they watch and they see if somebody can get any sort of views. You can get yourself 1,000 views, it triggers something, and then they look and they say, is this guy a clown enough? If this guy's a clown enough, then we'll use the AIMS technology to boost you up to 300,000 plus following all of a sudden. And once you have that kind of following, triggers the algorithms, does this, does that, they make it. They create all of these pieces of shit. These rappers suck. My lifestyle. Dip up a dip a dip up a dip a dip up a dip. My lifestyle. They're all terrible. Not one of them is lyrically sound. None of the new guys. You get guys like Wayne who are great and Eminem who are great. I don't know. Kendrick's okay. I don't see the fascination with him so much, but I don't know. But it's all the same dumb fucking songs over and over again. Nobody's making new rap songs.
So, can I just tell you that our kids' insurance agent or insurance customer care called, to give you have you scheduled your welfare visit for your child yet? Anything we can do to help call? Yeah, I'm saying she's buying lemons. Like, no, not only do I not want that, I won't be doing it, but this is what I do. She's like, oh my God.
He's just here for entertainment purposes, I guess. No one believes what he says, especially when he's asking you for evidence and doesn't provide any himself. Just high rambling man, I guess. Yep. Never provide you any evidence.
You have many things.
I never provide you with anything that I don't read to you the narratives that they give us over and over again. I don't literally provide you with a bunch of links in the description that go to all of their shit. All of the examples. From Hollywoodism to the Israel Hayom Bottom of Darkness to auto-emancipation and the Havara Agreement and Team Jorge and Act.io. Like, I provide you with all the receipts. You notice how this person will keep typing these comments, these paragraphs about, what I'm doing or this, that, but they never, ever, not one thing. She has typed comment after comment, and not one of them says, well, you said this about this, and you're wrong because of that. Not once. They can't do it. What's up, Marbles? Why would anyone write or publish the truth? You gotta observe the lies. I don't know. That one missed. You'll never see somebody actually with something to say that comes here and picks a thing and then destroys my argument. This person just cries and cries and cries and cries. The argument that I do this just for entertainment or education, or if I'm here entertaining you, if you're saying that of all the things in the world you could be doing, you're choosing to be here again, you can say all the shit you want to. You're a fan, and I'll take it. But if it's this idea that I'm here just for attention, I say it all the time. If I just wanted attention, why don't I just sell you guys Jesus? I think with all of my oratory abilities and all, if I was selling Jesus, I'd be rich pretty quickly. Especially if we were to take it to the birthdays situation. If I just wanted attention, selling you guys what you already buy is the easiest fucking thing to do. But these are the this is what dumbasses say when they can't actually say something that matters. Say one fucking thing. Watch. Here comes the next one. Watch this. Watch. Just watch. They just love to complain. Yes, for sure. Let's see. Then where's the proof? Where's the source you got it from? Not just some biased source you found. And I've said you plenty. You're just high. See? If this person actually had something to say, why wouldn't they just say it? Why wouldn't they just say, oh yeah, well, you're wrong about this? Like, if they've already said it, then they should have it pretty down. What would be the problem with saying it again? All you're going to keep doing is coming up with excuses as to why you don't have a single fucking original thought. And no one said you're thinking attention. I said you were entertaining us with your side of how a pothead thinks. Man, you really need to work on your sentence structure and your grammar. You're coming across as very stupid. And I did address both sides. See, again, when somebody is desperate and stupid, they'll only say things that like they'll ignore shit and they'll make shit up. I literally said, if you're saying it's this, then I'll take it. But if you're saying it's the other thing, because again, your sentence structure and your ability to communicate like a reasonable human being is lacking, then it's this. But I did address both sides of it. It just didn't fit your crybaby argument. Right? It's just a bunch of crybaby over and over again. Some dumb little white girl who thinks she's entitled to so much, if she's even really a person, which I do admit, I do believe the personal sort of crybaby that's involved in this, that she's not just a bot. I actually think this is just some dumbass who is a fan, obviously. I could block that profile and they'd make a new one to watch. Oh, now it's talk to text's fault again. Now it's the computer's fault again. If you're saying that you're too lazy to make sure that what you're saying comes across as, intelligent or well thought, that says more about you than you realize. But you're also proving what a dumbass you are, what a liar you are, right? That you don't have the ability to take accountability for what you do. So instead of just saying something like, yeah, you're right, you got me, that was fucked up, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have worded that differently, or something along those lines, now you're blaming the computer. Gotcha. And you have to love the excuse that they're not talking. This isn't grammar school. Right. Why don't you just lay on the keyboard then if it doesn't matter what you type? I think it's super important when you're trying to talk about how dumb someone else is that you make sure what you're saying is spot on. You know, you might not realize it, but I make sure every your I say is the right your. Right? I make sure every time I say two, talking to you guys, it's the right two. You might not notice because it sounds the same, but if I say that's too much, I use TOO right there. Did you see it? Doesn't matter what words I use. I'm just a dumb girl. I can't be bothered to type things correctly. They can only attack your character because they have no logic to defeat your statement. Yes, it's called ad hominem. It's actually a thing, right? Would talk to text use you are instead of your though? No, talk to text absolutely would not. That's a good point. Is that person using you are? I'm not lazy like that, right? But you're right. She did say, and no one said you are seeking. Right? Yeah. Talk to text doesn't do that. Talk to text doesn't say I said you and then use the letter U. It would say YOU. So now you're busted not just by me but by somebody else. How does that feel? Man, kind of makes you look stupid, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of make you look stupid? Doesn't it? Doesn't it make you look stupid? See what I mean? You know how much better you would have looked if you would have just owned it and been like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I fucked up. But blah, blah, blah. Instead, you just got caught in your own bullshit, in your lies. Let's see how you try to dig out of this. How is it going to be somebody else's fault that you got this wrong? How is it going to be my fault that you got it wrong? Or that they caught on to you? I love that I have intelligent chat. You know? That's what's so fantastic to me. And if I could get that same sort of intelligence to oppose me, to help sharpen my sword, I'd appreciate it. But instead, I'm stuck with this kind of bullshit. So, ad hominem, short for argumentum ad hominem, refers to several types of arguments where the commenter, you, attacks the character, motive, or some other attribute of the person making an argument rather than the substance of the argument itself. This avoids genuine debate by creating a diversion, often using a totally irrelevant, but often highly charged attribute of the opponent's character or background. The most common form of this fallacy is that person A, me, makes a claim of fact, to which person B, your dumbass, asserts that person A, me, has a personal trait, quality, or physical attribute that is repugnant, thereby going off topic. And hence, person B, your dumbass, concludes that person A, me, has their fact wrong without ever addressing the point of the debate. Right? It's a common misconception that an ad hominem attack is synonymous with an insult. This is not true, although some ad hominem arguments may be considered insulting by the recipient. But that's only if you allow it to be. To me, I look at it like it's such a positive. You know, I'm really like, I'm not, none of what I'm saying is like steeped in metaphor or is hidden. I'm very upfront, very blunt, very, deliberate in what I say. So your response, unless you're deliberately and directly responding to what I'm saying, you're saying a lot. If you're not responding to what I'm saying and you start going ad hominem, it's because what I'm saying is right and you can't say anything about it. So instead, you're trying to come up with some other bullshit. And I look at that as a compliment. I know I'm not supposed to from your end, but that's how that works. Guy, thoughts on the mobilization near Iran again? Plus winter vortex, nor'easter at the same time, weatherman, distractions to evoke Patriot Act through ice. Got a lot going on this week. Yeah, no, so starting with the last one, which I think is sort of the biggest thing right now, is these shooting narratives that were being shown that that just seem off. That it's such a weird thing because you don't want to speak ill of somebody who was a victim of that situation and all that shit. But at the end of the day, it's very, that Peretti guy sure did look like an IDF agent, actor. And the fact that there was no blood anywhere, and I think they they know this isn't pre-2000s America anymore. And they can't just say, hey, you're going to get sick, come get a shot. And everybody run out and get a shot like they did in 78. I think they realize that the battlefield has changed. And I think that they know they can't just use the tactics they were using before. So now, or maybe they are even using the tactics. Maybe all the shit that we saw before, more than likely, the shit that we've been told, it's all manipulation. It's all, at the end of the day, I might not like my neighbor, but I'm not trying to go to war with him. I'd really just like it if he lived his life and I lived mine and we never spoke. That would be ideal. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I don't, nothing. I just don't like him. And that's fine. And I can live next to somebody for a long time that I don't like without there being any issue on my end. I don't have to like everybody. And I think that's generally how the Goyim are. We can live in a world with each other without trying to take each other over and having to defend each other, and we just not like that. They put that shit on us. There's not a fucking American here that thinks, man, I sure will sleep better at night if Gaza is eliminated. Not anyone other than a friar, outside. No one outside of their cult thinks that way. Most people generally suck, but yes, we aren't as colonial or imperial as some others. I don't know. The Renee shooting had me scratching my head. The stakes seemed way too high, seemed orchestrated. You know what Renee means? Renee means born again or reborn. Born again good, reborn good was killed. And just, again, I wish I didn't live in a society that was like this. I wish I could just trust the government that runs us. I wish I could say, obviously everybody's not capable of being a leader. We do need leaders. We do need structure. We do need a system. But the people that are in charge, they're good. Like seriously. Trump is worth a gazillion, fulfillion, $1 million. What else does he need? you understand? Like, if all of the billionaires in this world got together and donated $100 million to a pot, they would still be the richest people in the world by a lot. And we could then distribute that whatever that pot turned into to everybody else. And really, like, if you're smart, you realize if you were to stimulate the economy and you were somebody that benefited from the economy's growth, then that would make you more money in the long run. But that $100 million out of the billionaire, you have $5 billion or whatever it is, you wouldn't even notice it. That's like if you had $5 and you lost a penny. You'd never notice it.
Verse 3, let's see. Where can it be? What can I do? Who's really free? The lies and deceit.
But we don't think, like, there's nobody here that's like, man, I sure hope Bezos destroys another mom and pop company. I sure hope Palantir takes over more shit and adds more surveillance. Like, we don't think like that. Most of us just want to live our lives, and it not suck. It not be a struggle just to get, but just not exist in our life where we go to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day so we can barely make ends meet. No, that's not what anybody wants. I think if you had a situation where everybody had to work 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 2, 3 hours a day, that would open things up so that there would be so many more jobs available for everyone. Everyone would contribute their very best, and, the production values would soar. People would just be, you had to work for a couple hours. You'd be full of energy. You'd be full of life. You'd like it. You could do it with some joy. I served this country, put my life on the line before people like you sit behind your phone, blah, blah, blah. See, again, notice how this crybaby cannot address anything being said. Seriously, it's embarrassing how stupid you are. You just don't realize, like, you are a moron. And you didn't put your life on the line for anyone but Israel. The United States has never been in danger. I've been saying this for a long time, and it's starting to come true more now than ever. You're more likely to lose your life to a cop than anyone else in our society. The police force is the only thing that truly puts you in danger. Most of you don't you don't live in danger. You don't live in the dark parts of the hood. You don't go to the dark parts of the hood. You don't do anything like that. The idea that you would experience any sort of violence or anything even close, like you could leave your doors unlocked and you'd be fine. That's the majority of you. The only people that truly pose a threat to you 24/7, the only people allowed to walk around with weapons on them and frivolously interact with you whether you want them to or not, and then kill you if that's how they see fit, and get away with it, are the police. Well, and now ICE. You're not in danger from some thug robbing you unless you put yourself in that position. You put yourself in the hood, driving around with your windows down, making it look like you have a lot of money to get, trying to show off. Well, that can happen to you. But that's not going to happen if you stay where you are. Can't spell police without ICE. Ooh, yikes, that's yucky. Or lice, true. You can bring up whatever numbers you want to bring up. I don't care what numbers the system tells you exist. The system will manipulate the number. Didn't you see when the jobs report came out and it showed that it was like the worst it had been in such a long time? And Trump was like, no, I don't like that. Fired the person that did it, and suddenly the jobs report came back with better numbers. You honestly believe that shit? They tell you whatever they fucking how could they ever know any of it? Because they don't research all of it. Whenever they talk about this percentage of Americans think this way or that way, they're not interviewing everyone. They don't fucking know. These are just things, these are shit they make up. You know, the whole thing about the police putting you in more danger than anyone else, I don't have any numbers to back that up. It's just common sense. It's just common sense. You know, there's nobody else that literally drives around hunting people. That's what they do. They drive around looking for some reason for you to have made some mistake, for you to get nervous, for you to, you know, not say something right, so they can ruin your fucking life. That's all they want to do. The more they can ruin your life, the better. If they can find more tickets involved in your shit, they will. If they decide to pull you over and you call them out because they're wrong, they'll find something. Right? They're dangerous. They're psychopaths. You have to be a fucking psychopath to put yourself in the danger that they put themselves in every single day. Because, you know, you should, I believe that we should respect the shit out of the cops. And I would absolutely respect the cops if there were good cops. But until I start seeing good cops busting bad cops, they're all bad cops. Small bias sample sizes create collective narrative, manufactured consent. Of course. Tell that to my brothers and sisters I lost. Tell that to their families. How do you know? That what you looked up on your phone and never been in touch with your life. Oh, what a dumbass. What a dumbass. Still has yet to address anything that's wrong. Still just saying the same old dumb crybaby shit. And now she's moved on to Daniel. Good Lord. People don't know is that even the police have to meet certain number of arrests just so they can get paid properly. This is a sickness. Yeah, for sure. And so there's a guy. Oh, why the fuck can't I think of his name right now? He was on the Joe Rogan show. Oh, what the fuck was his name? Oh, I'm totally drawing a blank too. It's not even on the tip of my tongue. I can see him, but I can't. Mike Wood. Yes. Officer Michael Wood. He was on the... He was Boston Police Department higher, or not Baltimore Police Department higher up, and he got hurt, and when I don't actually remember the how it got to what place, but at some point he realizes there's a lot of corruption in the system, in the Baltimore PD, and he's noticing that they're not only encouraged to patrol the black neighborhoods, but they're discouraged from patrolling the rich white neighborhoods. And if they do bust somebody, they're encouraged to let them go and give them the. And he starts exposing this. And he thought that, that there would be a little bit of support. I think he started exposing it when he got hurt and he realized he wasn't going to be able to go back to work. That's what it was. So it shows you he's a piece of shit in reality, right? If he could have gone back to work, he might not have ever said anything. But he started getting attacked, and it turned into a big deal, and then he went on the Rogan show and he talked about it. But he flat out said, they tell us we have to patrol certain neighborhoods. There are the quotas. What's up, Karen? There's all of that. And like all of the conspiracies and stereotypes associated with the police are basically true. And especially the one about, they'll attack one of their own even harder if he steps out. We were watching, or she was watching, Chicago PD yesterday. And I just happened to be sitting here. I hate that fucking show. That show to me glorifies it. That show to me, like, it desensitizes. It shows you the obvious, unbelievable corruption that the Chicago Police Department is, and Hank is such a horrible human being. He's a drug dealer. He's a pimp. Like, he's an awful human being. He's the head drug dealer. He's the head pimp. He's the head bad guy. His position as the police gives him the ability to take out all of his competition. Like, that's basically what this show is showing you. You just don't realize it. Watch the show again from that perspective. That Hank is the ultimate gangster, the ultimate bad guy, and he uses the police department as his way to keep his position. And you tell me how that doesn't fucking fit. Always no money, never about protecting. Nah, but money and power too. Power, position, access to behind closed doors. You always have to, whenever you go with the money argument, you always have to remember the people that print the money don't give a shit about the money. The money is for us. We are supposed to care about it. We are supposed to never have it. That's what money is about. It's not about having it. It's about all of us not having enough. And as long as you live your life just barely living, it's funny how the system is set up that that it doesn't matter what sort of level you're on until you get to a certain level. But, even if you're somebody who has a decent job, well, you don't live in a shitty apartment. So you have a nicer job, means you want to have a nicer house. You want to have a nicer car. You want to have these things, which then puts you on a check-to-check fucking situation. A lot of those middle class, upper class people are in the same position as we are. They're barely making it. You live to your means. And it's interesting how our situation is designed to keep us right there. Just right there. Everybody is right there. A couple of bad decisions away from, the insane tent city shit that's happening in everywhere. California, like, how is that America? How is that the United States of America is tent city USA? Like, God, it's so scary. It's all so fucking scary. It's all so goddamn scary. It's interesting. Whenever I see we see a military person, I have raised my kids to see the hats, to notice little military giveaways, especially when you have one of those old timers with the hat on. And anytime you see that, my kids walk over, shake their hand, say thank you for your service. And it's not at all about our freedom. It's not at all about supporting that narrative. It's about those poor kids. If you got tricked into joining the military all those years back, they literally fed on propaganda and bullshit. You know, America is in danger. We're in danger. We need you to help us go die on that front line. And the propaganda bullshit that they were fed, all to, you know, again, Americans have never been in danger. This is the world wars. World War I and World War II were both about Israel. There were a lot of other things that went down, but the main goal, World War I, was about establishing British Mandate Palestine, which for the next 30 years weakened the Palestinian people and made them completely complacent to the idea that another culture, like, we don't have to protect ourselves. We don't have to have a military. The British have our backs. So that after World War II gave the excuse, oh, those poor Jews in Germany, because of what happened to them, the people in Palestine have to pay the price. Like, none of it makes sense. It's all just the stupidest shit, especially when you look at the Havara Agreement of 1933 and you realize, like, it wasn't anything that had to do with the Holocaust. The colonization of Palestine had long been happening. This was just the final piece. And that's what they did. You know, because of World War II, they were allowed to, somehow Palestinians had to pay that price. And so all those poor, dumbass 18, 19, no, 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, because back in the day that they didn't really care that much. They tricked everybody with these, you know, these delusions of grandeur. You know, you're going to be a soldier. You're going to kiss the girl. You're going to, you know, it's going to be fun. You're going to ride the water slide. You know, and then you have these 16 and 17-year-old kids from broken homes or whatever that sneak in, and the government didn't care. They'd take whatever meat sack they could. And then, you know, they throw these kids into war. Can you imagine 16, 17, 18-year-old kid being basically dropped into a jungle war scenario? You don't think that's going to break a couple brains? And the thing is, it wasn't for our safety. It wasn't for anything. I mean, what was you know, to stop communism? So we attacked Vietnam? What are you, fucking nuts? How does that even make sense? When I think of communism, I think of Russia and China. We didn't go after those for some reason. Almost like, you know, Russia and China were working with the United States to override a bunch of those places in that area. And then when we lost the war and pulled out, they put their people in. But it's all the same. Putin and Bush and Putin, and they're all buddies. They're all buddies. It is a one world government. You guys just don't know it. But of course it is. And if COVID didn't show you that we live in a one world government, you're just not paying attention. And one world government, what's funny too is one of the things they love to do is convince us that the solution is the problem. Right? But a one world government is actually a fantastic solution. We should absolutely have a one world government. Having a one world government doesn't mean you eliminate all the other cultures in the world. But that's how you're taught to think. Like if it was a one world government where everyone was held to the same sort of standards, all of the people had the same rights to exist, nobody was allowed to just, be a dictator or a king or whatever it is, all that shit, and everybody was just allowed to have the same rights and God-given fucking rights to life, that wouldn't be a bad thing. That would actually be a much better thing. There's nothing about, a one world government that destroys culture other than probably eliminating, the monarchies that leech off the society and then suppress and oppress the societies. You really don't want to get rid of the king and the queen of your area? You don't want to get rid of the royal family in your area who are born better than you?
Why?
Look at this. Look at Alex, the tough guy girl. She's so stupid. She's had multiple opportunities to actually address something that's going on. And instead, she just keeps repeating the same dumb shit. She keeps acting like she's not a keyboard warrior right now. Coming on to a feed, trying to hijack attention and talking shit. Only talking shit. Not actually contributing even a little bit. Like, to think that if you were a Marine and you do have such a reverence for you're so happy for your country and love your country so much, why aren't you able to say more? Why aren't you able to defend it at all? Why are you just acting like you're some tough guy that could beat up a dude when you can't? Zero women in active combat. Why? It's such a stupid thing. That you have been tricked into thinking your value is that you're allowed to go die on the battlefield. You have this really good situation when you're a woman, when you're gay. You can't be forced to go fight for Israeli bullshit and die. What a great situation you have, and you guys got tricked into fighting. No, we should be allowed to go out there. Does anybody think that makes sense? Like my wife likes the fire department show, Chicago Fire or whatever. And it's so goddamn stupid. Especially the girl power aspect of it. Now, if the show was about big, ugly ass, lesbian bitches being cops, I would totally, or being fire people, I would accept it. But when you have women the size of my wife, I'm supposed to believe that if need be, my wife could, I guarantee if I lay on the fucking bed and I go dead weight, and it was up to my wife to get me out of here, I'd be dead. We'd both be dead. They show these smaller, good-looking broads as supposed to be these fire women, and come on. If I'm in a situation where somebody is gonna have to carry me the fuck out of there, and some female shows up, I'm gonna be like, oh shit.
Okay, however, what if she does pick
If she does, and she does it, and I'll be pleasantly surprised. I would have no problem with acknowledging it that I was wrong in that situation. But I would, that's not even something I would want to have to think of. We are talking about a physicality standpoint. If you have to lower the test so that females can do it, that is not equality. That is not like, that's nothing for females to be proud of. Nothing. If there's a standard that that you have to meet to be this thing, and none of you can do it, so they have to lower it down so you can do it, what the fuck are you proud of?
You did wrong, but you didn't do.
How do you learn this stuff?
There's some things you learn by doing. Riding a bike, riding a car, raising a woman,
I can't ride a bike or drive a car.
or parenting.
I need specific instructions. A list of techniques to
Alex is a girl's name too, so why would I just assume it's your wife's name, dumbass? Your poor wife. Tell her she has my sympathies. It sounds like if you are who you say you are a fucked up dude, and I'm really sorry that that was done to you. You're a great example of why human brains aren't built for that shit. Like, think about it. Somebody that can't even acknowledge that they spelled something wrong or that they got something wrong, so they blame a computer, and then they get busted, obviously not being the computer. It's not talk to text when it's putting you are or just you. Instead of acknowledging that, yeah, they got busted and yeah, they made a mistake, they're blaming the computer, or they just go all quiet for a little while and then start talking again, hoping everyone forgot that they did that. Do you think that person has the mental capacity to be out there making life and death decisions for people? That's fucking terrifying. Right? That's terrifying. I'm just honest. Honesty is key. That's like the guy that, supposedly got drugged by the car, 33 stitches in the leg. 6 months later, he's out and he shoots Renee Good. Like, you just see these you see these discrepancies in the narrative. And when you see it, you should call it out. But like I say, think about the mental capacity of this dumbass, right? Let's see. I put you are to save room on my comment, dumbass. If I had spelled it all the way, then I wouldn't have had room for the rest. No. Okay. Let's see if you can follow instruction like a good little soldier, okay? Pay attention. You blamed your sentence structure and your spelling of something incorrectly on the fact that you're using talk to text. But talk to text doesn't use you are. So you got busted lying. Do you not understand? Come on, buddy. Let's put that military brain to use. It's scary to think, like, again, that I would have to, it would come to the point where I would have to, I would have to explain it to him from that sort of perspective, right? Right? Like, that guy was in charge of making decisions on people, whether people lived or died. That was that mentality, that inability to take accountability was in charge of people's lives. That's scary. I like the idea that you're just lying about it a lot better, because the idea that you really were a soldier is just terrifying. It's terrifying. Now he does talk to text. Then he goes through and he re-edits the URs, or he edits the yours and the yous, so then he can talk to text more of the comment. But doesn't bother to fix the other spelling mistakes or other grammatical mistakes. Yep, that's how commenting works. Don't you usually half talk to text and half type? Yeah, it makes so much sense, doesn't it? What a dumbass. All of this. This guy is doing all of this instead of just going, yeah, you got me. Fuck. Yeah, I fucked up that sentence. Okay, big deal. Right? That's all it would be. That's all it would take. And instead, this guy is crafting this whole fucking narrative about, you know, he fought in Vietnam and killed 50 Nazis and just ridiculous. What a weirdo. But as I was saying, like, I feel bad for the old timers. The old timers that didn't have the internet at their disposal. They could honestly say they had no idea what they were getting into and that they had been sold the real patriotic dream. I can understand those poor kids. If you've joined the military in the last 30, 40 years, you knew that you were going to go kill brown people for the friar benefit. It doesn't take too much research. It doesn't take too much effort to look and be like, yeah, they're fucking around. We're not told the truth. And nowadays, and for the last 20 years, you've had the most powerful research tool ever given to man in the palm of your hand. And you still join that shit to go kill brown people? That's what you were doing. You knew you were doing that. You knew you weren't fighting for American freedom. That hasn't been a reality for a very long time. So you only joined the military because you knew you were going to kill brown people. That literally, that's the only conclusion I can be left with. Because there is no other conclusion. You didn't think you were going to join the military to not kill brown people. You saw what we've been doing. It wasn't a surprise. Yeah, I didn't say all that. That's the propaganda. You spread, not like me. I said, you guys talk about, I'm about. Yeah. Yeah. I love how you don't address what's being said, the actual things being said. And you're still not addressing the fact you got busted lying. You're a lying piece of shit. You're not an honorable soldier that can, brave, tell the truth regardless of the situation. You're a fucking lying piece of shit. At this point, who gives a fuck, man? You've already proven your mentality time and time again, but you're just doubling down on this you being a liar thing, and it's the worst element. Because once you identify as a liar, that you're capable of lying with no remorse, with no accountability, then everything you say is suspect. Nothing you say can be trusted after that. Because we know you're capable of lying. In Linda 17, I am a fuck grandmother, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? At 47, I'm going to go join the military so I can prove it to dumbass. What a fucking moron, man. And again, all of this because he can't pick one thing I'm getting wrong and just address that. Not Jesus, not politics, not Israel, not genocide, not Trump, nothing. It's just cry baby, cry baby, cry baby. Providing this fantastic example of what I keep saying. If I was wrong about anything, this person that keeps trying to jump in, he would be jumping on it. If I said anything wrong, he would jump right on it. And I say this all the time, but you can't sit here and think that he has this really good argument that he's sitting on. And when he finally says it, it's going to put me in my place and shut everything down. He's just waiting for the right time to say it. And until then, he's going to look like a complete dumbass. Right? That's not happening. This is his very best. If he could come up with something better, he absolutely would. Thinking apart, oh yeah, really? Yeah, nobody gives a shit. If you had something to say, you'd say it. You wouldn't tell people to go back and read something. You'd just say it again. Hand-to-hand combat, yeah. Why would I ever give anyone that sort of glorification? I nothing you. You're nothing to me. That I would ever risk myself going to prison for the rest of my life because I hit you and you fall out and hit your head or some kind of stupid shit? Why would I ever risk that? Why would I ever put myself at risk? Especially against some crazy insecure Marine, supposedly, who lies, so we don't even know if he's a Marine. But he can't even take accountability when he's wrong about something. Do you think he's the type of person that if you whipped him, you could turn your back on him? Or the other way around, if he got the best of you, he'd stop? He's one of these insecure weirdos, man. Begging for attention. Over here, basically defending pedophiles and Israel and the friars. And it's just so silly to think, like, they don't realize, I guess, what they're... I don't even know. It's just so stupid what comes through. That's why he does little mock voice, like he's one of my kids. What is why? What is why? I mean, it's just so stupid. Like that you would care that much. Well, you're saying things I don't like. Do you walk around trying to fight people that say things you don't like? Ooh, I gotta prove my masculinity. I want to fight you. I'm sorry. You got so much or so little going on, I should say. But you just don't matter to me that much. You're an example on a fucking YouTube feed. And the best part is you're more than likely too dumb to realize your own value to me. You think that you're causing me some sort of discomfort or some sort of, bother. Not realizing, like, if you were really bothering me, why wouldn't I just block you? Why do I leave you here to continue to say, to hurt me, to make me look so bad? And why would I do that? If that's what was happening. Does any of it dawn on you? Like, you're a valuable piece in this. And you're here because I want you to be here. If I didn't want you here, you wouldn't be. But you provide such a fantastic example of like every layer of stupidity I'm talking about.
If I gave you a ham sandwich and just 13% was ham, while the rest of what you've been handed was some shit straight from the can, would you conform and be a man and hit it with a smile?
Oh, look at this. It's just more of the same old same. What the hell? Here we go. Here's some more crying. More crying. Notice how, again, there's no addressing what gets said. It's just crybaby like he's my girlfriend and he's mad. Oh, yeah? Well, what about that time when we was out at the bar and you got super drunk and you passed out threw all over your place? What about that time, huh? Yeah, but Israel's committing genocide. Yeah, well, you was sick. Remember that? Remember how you bought that pair of shorts? Remember them shorts and they was real small? And then you sat down and they had that big hole in the butt and you didn't notice it? Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, sure. Like, okay, whatever. What about the genocide thing? And what about the slavery thing? And what about the pedophile thing? And what about all that? I ain't here to talk about all that. You want to go back out with me? He's so stupid. I'm a military man. I got a lot going on in my life. That's why I can come on your feed for hours every day and beg for your attention. So fucking weird. It's so weird. And again, like, you're given the floor. You're given the floor. You could say anything. Nobody is making you say anything. You could literally be like, dude, you said this, and you are wrong about that, and this is why, and your whole argument is fucked, and you suck. And I'd be stuck reading it, and it would work. But you just can't do that. He 47 and then it's still moving. Still hasn't become a magnet for diamond society. People ain't piss me off. Where our money going? Doesn't even pay attention. Right, you know my situation for sure there. The guy who does, you're the military guy who's so manly that you have a profile with your wife or with your girlfriend, whatever you say. Well, this is the Alex and Jessica profile. Really, dude? Oh, I just realized how goofy that is. Well, she just wants to have access to it, okay? You share your profile and you're talking all this shit. Dude, you're literally here every day begging for attention. Providing a fantastic example. Please don't stop coming back. I can tell you that much. I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys, but it makes sense to me. If you're watching, like, share, and sub. 10 viewers, 7 likes, 2,500 subscribers. Totally makes sense, right? It's so stupid, man. It's just so stupid. You'll never see me, like, back down from actual intellectual discussion. And it gets to the point where playing this game with these dumbasses gets really boring really fast. And it's so interesting to me that, again, these people are doing their best. This is every time they type something, they're like, oh, this is gonna get him, and then it doesn't work, and they're like, oh fuck. It's just it's such a weird thing because there's this need to be this in the position you're in, and it's just so strange because you cry and complain about everything I do because you watch it. And yet you can't actually address the shit being said. And I catch you guys lying all the time, and even the other people here catch you guys lying. And you still don't even bother like addressing it. You just keep proving the point. You know, if you ask the average person to, you know, you said, okay, hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go live every day, and I'm just gonna talk about how I think about things, and we'll see where it goes. What do you think I'm gonna receive? They wouldn't predict this. They wouldn't think anything of it, one, but you know, they would assume it would take you a significant effort to get to 2,500 subscribers. There had to be more than just 9 people watching and 7 likes to get to that kind of number. So something else must have happened. But, you know, when you look at the obsession that these people have, yeah, how do you make it make sense? Whoa. How do you make it make sense? That's all I ever try to do. If it made sense that it was just like these weird losers that were obsessed with me like that, I would, you know, I guess that would be one thing, but it just doesn't make any sense. Why would any real person that literally could be doing anything else in the world come to this feed and get cooked over and over and over again? Like, it's not even like they do a reasonable job. You know? This doofus just keeps proving everything I have to say over and over again. Probably got the same haircut since he was 14, right? Seriously? That's the best that this is the Marine, right? How do you like your dudes' haircuts to be? How do well, you're a Marine, so you probably like dudes with short hair, right? Now, are you okay with beards, or do you want them to have clean shaven too? That's weird. Does your, like, is that how you do it with, like, you and your wife? Like, you go devil's threesome, you know, ching ching? Is that how you do it? How do you prefer your dudes to look? What hairstyle do you? I'm assuming it's the straight up Johnny Unitas, you know, white guy flat top haircut, right? Oh yeah, you know what? I wanted to look that up. No, I want to know what Semite meant. It's funny because you look up Semite and it takes you to Semitic. Most commonly refers to Semitic languages, a name used since the 1770s to refer to the language family currently present in West Asia, North and East Africa, and Malta. Seems weird that why in the 1770s did they just decide to start calling it that? That's kind of weird. I'm really confused as to why it doesn't let me look up Semite. Semitic people, a term used in the grouping of Semitic languages and in linguistics, an obsolete term for an ethnic or cultural group, or a partially or completely devalued term for a racial group. That's Semitic people. Religions, ancient Semitic religions, disambiguation. Like, it's weird that you would think Wikipedia's version of Semitic would be something like more than this, and it's locked, so there is no changing anything. Let me see. Semitism. Let's see how Wikipedia defines it compared to Webster's. Right. And I'm sure most of you would consider when it comes to defining words. Wikipedia has Webster's when it comes to like, events and whatnot. But Webster's is the dictionary. So let's see what they say. Because Webster's is, characteristic features of a Semitic language. Feature a Semitic language occurring in another language. That's 1A and 1B. And then number 2 is policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. I wonder how long it's going to be before that changes. Okay, so Semitism, a grammatical or syntactical behavior in a language which reveals that the influences of a Semitic language is present. That's a grammatical or syntactical behavior in a language which reveals that the influence of a Semitic language is present. That's what Semitism means? That's not what Semitism means. Let's see what in the Wiktionary. Alright, countable, uncountable. Synonyms, Jewishness. The translations below need to be checked and inserted above into a project. Okay. It's really weird that there's no like, a word or phrase typical of or influenced by a Semitic language such as Arabic, Aramaic, or Hebrew. That's the countable. The uncountable, rare, Semitic character or Semiticness. Number 3, uncountable, strict sense, rare, Judaism's Jewishness, especially when seen as the thing to which anti-Semitism is opposed. Holy shit! That's an interesting admission there. Because they've left a lot of it out. But that little bitty piece where it says, especially when seen as the thing to which anti-Semitism is opposed. I thought there wasn't a thing to which anti-Semitism was opposed. You see how you have to pay attention to all the little pieces? That's a really interesting admission there. Wow. So now let's look up Semite. A member of a modern people that speak a Semitic language. Is English a Semitic language? A member of any of a number of peoples of ancient southwestern Asian or East African, such as Akkadians, Assyrians, Arameans, Phoenicians, Canaanites, Hebrews, Arabs, or Aksumites. It's funny, like if you were going to put that in alphabetical order, Arabs shouldn't be the last one. Why do you think Arabs is the last one? Again, the little things that you have to pay attention to that you might normally overlook. Number 3, a descendant of any of these people. Number 4, throw that one away.
It might work better on a paper. It's not.
Oh.
There's a song about you. Hooray! But you're still a clown shoe. Yay! There's a song about you. Hooray! But you're still a clown shoe. Yay! Now there's a song about you. Hooray! Too bad you're still a clown shoe.
Number 4, a descendant of the biblical patriarch Shem. And number 5, sometimes derogatory, a Jew. That's what Semite means. So I don't think I fit any of those definitions. You know. I might be a biblical descendant of the patriarch Shem. Let me see, the patriarch Shem. The oldest son of Noah, brother to Ham and Japheth, a male given name from Hebrew of biblical origin. Oh, right. Okay, so I'm looking at the biblical. Quotations, 1611, Holy Bible, King James Version. You guys know that the Bible was commissioned in 1611, right? Funny how nobody ever talks about that part. And the sons of Noah, the Sons, S-O-N-N-E-S. Like, if it's translated to English, why do they spell shit wrong? Does it have a different meaning? Is that why? Sons is a brand best known for Sons number 7 detoxifiant. Oh my God, detoxificant. Detoxificant. There we go. Jesus. A liquid bentonite clay dietary supplement designed for internal detoxification. Okay, so that's not the word I'm looking for, but that's the only thing that comes up when you look up Sons. So again, doesn't that seem weird? Like why would they translate some words incorrectly?
For Kanye and the great Semitism deception, but he's just a clever
What am I knowing?
Since at our first impression, he looks
And the sons of Noah went forth from the ark, where Shem and Ham and Laphat, and Ham is the father of Canaan. And that's that. That's so that's weird that I don't fit the Semitism definition. You know, I don't think I've ever looked up Judaism just as it is. Is an Abrahamic monotheistic ethnic religion that comprises the collective spiritual, cultural, and legal traditions of the Jewish people. Religious Jews regard Judaism as their means of observing the Mosaic covenant, which they believe was established between God and the Jewish people. The religion is considered one of the earliest monotheistic religions, according to them. Remember, it's one of the oldest religions. One of the oldest books is the Hebrew Bible. And yet, somehow the language was lost until the late 1800s, early 1900s, when it was revived by Eliezer ben Yehuda. Can we do that? Can you explain that? Mary, what's bullshit? Good to see you. Religious Jews regard Judaism as their mean. We already did that. All right. Okay, the type, an ethnic religion. Classification, Abrahamic. Scripture, the Hebrew Bible. Traditions, Talmud. Exegesis, Midrash. So the Talmud is their thing. But so again, the Hebrew Bible part doesn't make much sense. Monotheistic theology, religion, Israel and worldwide as minorities. Language, biblical Hebrew and biblical Aramaic. Founder, Abraham and Moses, according to tradition. Origin, 6th century BCE, Judah, minus 500s. Separated from Yahwism. What's Yahwism? Yahwism, also known as the Israelite religion, was the ancient Semitic religion of ancient Israel and Judah, and the ethnic religion of the Israelites. My mouth is so dry. The Israelite religion was derived from the Canaanite religion and a polytheistic religion that had a pantheon with various gods and goddesses. So, okay, the primary deity of the religion and the head of the pantheon was Yahweh, the national god of the kingdoms of Judah and Israel. The majority of scholars hold that goddesses Asherah, her name was Ashera.
Yeah.
Literally, how do you spell Shira?
SHE-RA.
H. I think the H is on there too.
I don't think so. I think
Look it up real quick. I can't. Here, I got it actually. Are you doing it or am I?
No.
No, it is RA. It's even still. We were secretly. I mean, oh, you know what? I'm wrong. It's just a coincidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just another one of those coincidences. Asherah was the consort of Yahweh, though some scholars disagree. Are we going to see that over and over again here too? Where everything you read and they'll go, however, nobody can actually prove it. However, there's no evidence to actually back this up. However, this is just another Jewish fairy tale. Like, you literally see that over and over again researching this stuff. Hey, where'd dumb girl Alex go? I thought we didn't show any evidence or read anything. Why they always leave when that happens? Following the divine duo were second-tier gods and goddesses such as Baal, Shamash, Yarkikmat, and Asarte, with each having priests and prophets and numbering royalty among their devotees. The practices of Yahwism included festivals, ritual sacrifices, which they'll never go into, vow making, private rituals, more rituals, and religious education of legal disputes. For most of its history, the temple in Jerusalem was not the sole or central place of worship dedicated to Yahweh, with many locations throughout Israel, Judah, and Samaria. However, it was still significant to the Israelite king who effectively led the national religion as a worldly viceroy of the national god. Do you understand how silly all this is? It just sounds like some fucking, Chronicles of Narnia bullshit. And the king was very tall, and he was very handsome. He had long hair, and he had like a very small nose. He was so handsome. All the girls loved him. I mean, think about it. Like, who is the strongest man in all of history that was immortal? Not a god. Who's the strong guy?
The Hulk.
No, like in the narrative that we're given, like that's because the Bible's supposed to be real.
Oh.
So who's the strongest guy?
God.
She's dumb. Samson. Samson is the mortal that was so strong he could pull down the pillars of the temple on top of the Philistines that had captured him, tied him up. So he was so important that he had massacred so many of their people that they kidnapped him, and then instead of doing something to him, they chained him up on the fucking in between two pillars, and he had to just stand there all chained up. And eventually he got really mad and he pulled the chains, and they pulled the chain. Like, what were these fucking pillars made out of?
Salt.
Because shouldn't the chains have snapped? Don't you think the chains would snap before the pillars would come down? This is just a hole in the story. Sorry.
It's the pillars of salt, right?
No, it's the pillars of the temple. He's chained up, chain and a cuff and a chain on each arm, chained to one of those big fucking,
I don't know.
Those-
It's all Greek to me.
right, one of those big column things that hold the tower up.
I know. I got you.
And so he pulls it, and the chain doesn't snap. The fucking columns fall over. Obviously, this was some really faulty construction, and the story of Samson is very much diminished when you kind of think about the logistics of it. These are like,
Faulty. That's pretty.
right? These are what, iron chains? Those are gonna snap before the columns are set to break. I want to see you hook up a tow truck to one of them big fucking columns with a chain and hit the gas and see what happens first. Does the temple fall down? And maybe it might now because we're a gazillion years later. But I bet you the chain snaps before the fucking the stone breaks. Yahweh is God. Yahweh is an asshole. Yahweh is such a motherfucker. Why anyone would ever choose to worship Yahweh? Like that explains the same people that would fucking whip themselves. I was bad. Yeah, you know what? Can I use your whippy thing? Mine doesn't have enough fucking nails on the end. Like, they're just so stupid. It's just all so stupid. Their fucking cult is pedophilic nonsense, and this just shows it to you. Like, to think that so much pedophilia is overlooked in the world, and it's because of this shit supposedly making them divine, supposedly making them above reproach because they're God's chosen people. Yet, there's a lot of dumb Christians out there that say Yahweh. It goes to show you that, like, they didn't research. They heard somebody else say it.
We can take these off.
Yahweh is the Jewish God, the pillar of fire that led the Israelite, Yahweh is an asshole. Yahweh is the one that's always handing out plagues if you don't believe what he wants you to believe, and if you don't do this on this, he's a douchebag.
Wow.
As far as biblical stories go, like, again, it's one of those things where you just go, you guys hear this one? Like, at least the Jesus narrative, the guy's like, hey, I love you guys. Let me, just believe in me. You just need to, if you don't believe my Father is God, then you're going to pay the price. But hey, let me help the blind people see, or at least that old blind Billy. Let me let people eat fish, and like, whatever. Jesus is an asshole too, but he's not like a throwing out plagues left and right asshole like Yahweh is. Yahweh is just a fucking absolute asshole. However, is still significant to the Israelite king who effectively led the national religion as a worldly viceroy of the national god. Yahwism underwent several recontextualizations and redevelopments as the nation of divinites. Divinites, aside from or comparable to Yahweh, was gradually degraded by new religious currents and ideas, possibly, beginning with the emergence of Israel during the late Bronze Age. The northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah had a joint religious tradition comprising cultic worship of Yahweh. I mean, it's all just so stupid. I don't like it. It makes me feel yucky.
I can't yank that kind.
I definitely can't yank that kind. A bronze bull statuette discovered at the 12th century BCE bull site in Samaria. At the bull site, they discovered the bull. And it's like they used the Scantron Lasertron to be like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, this is from...
They found deer in the woods in Michigan?
What?
They found a bull in the bull area? They found deer in Michigan?
They found breadcrumbs
polar bears
in the bread
Antarctica.
factory?
No fucking way, really? I never would have
No, but
guessed.
they used the Scantron-y thing.
To find the bull in the bull arena. That must have been really
no,
fucking nice.
stupid. God, so stupid.
I'm sorry. It's just...
They found the bull. Man, I lost my page. They found the bull in the site, and then they used the laser to be like, it's from 12,000 BC through 1200 BC.
Oh,
so that's...
Yeah, that tells them the age of the bull?
Yeah. What? It was a Tuesday. I have an eidetic memory. Yes. Absolutely they do. They think this shit makes all the sense. And they think, like, if you don't believe it, like, something's wrong with you.
Dude, I have a diamond.
Whoa.
I'll sell it for
Yeah.
like $100,000.
This is a real... This is not just a diamond. This is a Jesus' toenail. Okay? One day, one of the... You won't hear about this narrative, but one day, one of the disciples bet him that he couldn't go, because Jesus had this thing about picking his toenails. And so one of the disciples was like, Jesus, you keep picking your toenails. I bet you can't not pick your toenails for 6 months. And Jesus is like, you don't understand. And he's like, oh, I understand, Jesus. And Jesus is like, no, you don't. But I'll show you, my son. Verily, verily I will. Verily I will. And so what people didn't realize is Jesus' toenails grew really, really fast. So after 6 months, this was his little toenail. This wasn't even his big toe like you thought I was going to say. No, this is his little toenail. And so it broke off, and then it was passed down through secret Greek tradition. Like, this thing is so valuable. I will sell it to you for $100. You could sell it for millions. I just don't have time right now. So if you want it, I'll sell it to you for $100. Oh, kind of stinks. I mean, you understand that, like, that's literally how shit does work, though? People would say shit like that. Yeah, I'm absolutely trying to be as blasphemous as I possibly can. No, I hope he can't. I hope he gets as offended as his dumb fucking friar ass could possibly be offended. What a stupid ass thing to don't say that. Jesus didn't have toenails. Of course Jesus had toenails. And of course they grew faster than everybody else's. Why do you think he had to wear sandals all the time? Boom, boom, boom! Oh, man. That was a good one. Oh, no, I was raised Pentecostal. Blasphemy is speaking in... Fuck God. Fuck that stupid ass, goofy shit. None of it's real. It's fake. If it is real, then God is a fucking pedophile fan, piece of shit. God is the worst. Fuck God. I hope God fucking dies and goes to heaven or hell, wherever the fuck he belongs. God sucks. How's that? Does that work for you? Fuck you and your stupid ass beliefs, your stupid ass crybaby nonsense, your faith, your ridiculous faith. This is so unnecessary. Yeah, it's very necessary. It's extremely necessary. People need to realize there's no fucking bullshit out there smiting people for telling the truth. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. You're going to incur the wrath of God. If God is mad at me for calling it out when it's not, handing out a heart attack to Netanyahu, God can fuck itself. I'm an atheist. But then you're not an atheist, you clown. An atheist calls it what it is. You're not an atheist if you're too... I'm afraid to say words. I'm afraid God might hear them. Isn't that funny? Being anything but an atheist is dangerous. If you're saying, I will believe something based on absolutely no evidence whatsoever, strictly because somebody else wants me to, that's a dangerous person. That's a dangerous person. You can be forgiven for disbelief, but not for insulting him. Yeah, you believe in God then, and you're not an atheist, you dumb fucking dumb friar. I mean, this is a dumb friar. This is as dumb friar as it gets. So fucking stupid. So goddamn stupid. I only insult the stupid people. Thanks for pointing that out. I don't believe in God. No, you clearly do. Clearly you do. So goofy, man. It's so good. You should probably insult yourself sometime then. You literally thought in your head, I'm going to type, then you should go insult yourself then. You typed that out in Reddit and thought, that's going to get him, boom. You really thought that was a good thing? No fucking way. No way did you really think that was a proper... Like, you just basically said, no, oh, no, you did. I know you are, but what am I? It didn't even fit, actually. That's how dumb it was. Just shocking. It's just so shocking, but it's... Did you get the mail? It's just so shocking that, that this level of stupidity is so prominent.
It's time we run fed by the drums, appearing like we're phony. Since those of you who know me grow show no resignation, and the princes we're exposing hold the globe of desperation. And while the chosen TV stations put in place and pushing programs keeps the frozen education of the apes in lowly slow hands, the landscape is a no man's land kept safe from Goyim eyes.
No, that's the book for them.
Their program simply disappears.
sort of thing. They got a job to do. They're trying to get points. And they're just stupidity.
Google the Bilderberg Group. Then Google the oodles of proof that the noodles in that bowl of soup are the kit and caboodle of truth. The unusual fruit shooting up in the garden approve the excuses they're using to pardon the criminals hardened by yards in the Hamptons, creating the margin to sharpen their tendons through national anthems and patriotism. The rational answer to passive wisdom, but we take what's given like children in school. We're making the vision to live in their stool. Like this shit's been cool and we'll see a problem. Our existence is ruled by Google scholars.
Anyway.
The prison is open, let's poison the boss.
Anything they can get you to do, Mary. Anyway, I'm gonna bounce. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Go check out all the links in the description. It's there for you to be better from it. I give you all of the ability, like all of the information. You can go research for yourself, and if I'm wrong, point it out. Tell me. That's all you have to do. Go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg-group.com. Free. When you click download, it'll ask you how much you want to pay. Put 0 and it's free. Definitely go watch Hollywoodism. Definitely go read Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness. The first one explains, how you think the way you think. And the second thing, their article explains how they think the way they think. And it just explains it all to you if you allow it to. And then there's other things to look at. So go check it all out. Have yourself a wonderful day, and you pedophiles, you kill yourself.